Radiant team ban.
Alright everybody, welcome to game number 3 of Kaipi versus Team Aspera. This is the SteelSeries Euro Cup, sponsored obviously by SteelSeries, and thanks to Dota Talk for letting myself and Lily cast. Lily is not here at the moment, so I'll just be going ahead for now. She will be back soon, so don't fret. So, last game we saw a very close game, really. I mean, the whole game it was very back and forth. Team Aspera got that racks down first, but Kaipi just managing to bring it back and end up kind of going for a base race after they had mega creeps, and we were just there with the Desolator, extra damage, with the minus armor, and just managing to take down the racks much faster than Team Aspera could do it. So the score as of now is 1-1, so this is the third game, is the deciding round, and they need to win this game to go forwards in this tournament. So Team Aspera, pretty standard to start, banning out the Wisp. Generally, no one really wants to play against a Wisp, especially in the Western scene. It is known as a very high-tier pick. Sort of over into the Eastern side of Dota, it isn't picked up that much or banned up that much because it just hasn't seen as much play. But followed that, Kaipi banning out the OD, Batrider being banned out by Team Aspera. One of the things to note, though, is Kaipi last game basically respect banned most of it. They banned out the Storm, which Shafik does play fantastically well, as we saw in the prior series and in the first game against Kaipi. So maybe they'll ban it out second, but it does look like they're going to ban out the Nax. And will Team Aspera pick that Storm first, or is Kaipi planning to take it in their 2 picks next? But we'll have to see. Team Aspera are really thinking about this first pick, and they're going to pick up the Visage first. So could Kaipi be wanting to steal this Storm Spirit, or are they going to give it away?
Alright, what have I missed? Storm Spirit.
Not a lot. Ooh. Yeah, mostly the Storm Spirit. And
there
they are
it
going to
is.
pick up the Storm Spirit second.
Oh, excellent. Well,
I was just saying Kaipi might not be banning it so they can pick it up themselves, but I mean, they know how good Shafik's Storm Spirit is. They have played against it once, and they did ban it out in Game 2, but maybe they're not afraid of it now. Maybe they figured out how to shut them down, and they certainly did well in the early game of the last game.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, last game was just insanely close, and either team could have won it, and of course Kaipi did take that second game, but Team Aspera really had that within their grasp, and they just made a little bit of a mistake. So I suspect this game they're not going to make the same mistake. Picking up the Tiny, I'm not saying that he wasn't comfortable with it, but I think he's going to do a lot better with the Storm Spirit in the mid lane. And yet again they bounded the Enigma, no black holes, sorry guys. But yeah, Kaipi just going for another one of those bit of a wombo combo style draft, Nagasarian having that great counter initiation ability, and OD Lifestealer ban out. Yeah, pretty standard thus far. Team Aspera seem to have the kind of draft they want, and Kaipi so do they whatever they want in their mind. Well, not making sense.
5 seconds remaining.
It's okay, Lily. You don't make sense ever.
I know.
It's fine.
I'm used to it.
But the Doom banned out from Kaipi, so they definitely know Team Aspera's Doom is something to be afraid of, but they let them pick up the Storm, which could be their downfall in this Game 3.
Yeah, honestly it could be. I mean, they did a respect bound to the Storm in the second game, but apparently not this one. They have no fear. They're feeling confident against a team of Aspera.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're feeling a bit better in this game. And I'm not too sure about the Storm. I mean, maybe they've just figured out how they want to counter it. As we've seen, Shafik does very well in sort of confusing the other team and taking a lot of attention away and creating a lot of chaos so their carry can farm it. Maybe KP are just not going to allow that to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, last game, what Kaipi tried to do was run an aggressive tri lane just to shut down Go Audio and ensure that Shafik didn't get the complete and utter free farm and kills on Sing Sing that he wanted. And I mean, with the Storm Spirit alone, I'm pretty sure he'll be able to get at least a good start against whoever's laning mid, but I mean, they haven't had the opportunity to ban out heroes like the Puck. So the Storm Spirit, or the Queen of Pain, so the Storm Spirit might have a little bit of a harder lane than he has had in the previous games. So yeah, it's pretty open at the moment. I mean, banning out the Shadow Fiend, banning out the Enigma, they don't want to burst any kind of wombo combo, and Shadow Fiend combos really, really well with both the Darkseer and the Naga Siren. Banning out the Doom, bit of a respect ban, and maybe going to see a ban out of support, possibly something like the Crystal Maiden, maybe something to follow up with the Visage with some nuking damage. Alternatively, might see a ban out of an offlaner like the Weaver, though I don't think Weaver's particularly good against the Darkseer and the Naga Siren, purely because Naga Siren's got so many disables that Weaver gets locked down very easily, and Darkseer's got the Surge, so he's able to keep up with the Weaver's high move speed, which is his biggest ability in escaping, essentially.
Yeah, he definitely can really keep up with them, and he can also make the other people keep up with him. So if the Naga needs to get that net off to lock down the Weaver, he can very easily chase after with that Surge ability. They ban out the Shadow Fiend, which is something Sing Sing likes to play on KP, and they pick up the Anti-Mage once again. Now, will we see strange builds coming out on the Anti-Mage, or will we see more of a classic Battle Fury into Manta, into Heart, into Butterfly, things like that this game?
I kind of wonder if we're just going to see a little bit more of a standard anti-mage. I think Kaipi are aware now that Team Aspera do have the ability to beat them. In the first game they might have been a little bit cocky. Although I don't want to say cocky. Maybe they were a little bit more confident. But Team Aspera have shown that they are very, very strong. And so, I mean, Eternal Envy might end up going for that armlet or some other interesting build, but I suspect he's going to do something a little bit more standard just to ensure the game is a win on their side.
Yeah, definitely. And I really do think Anti-Mage should build standard this game, or even go for sort of a fighting Anti-Mage, but once again he has to be a little bit defensive because Storm Spirit jumping into him. They don't have the Naix bombs, so it's not going to be that very, very scary jump, but Storm Spirit still has a decent amount of lockdown to keep him down, and then you follow it up with the Rubik Lift and the Visage nukes, and if there's not a lot of levels on that spell shield, he can get killed very, very quickly.
10 seconds remaining.
Alright, yeah, I don't know. I like the Rubik pickup coming out from Aspera. Rubik is always pretty fun to play against ultra-mobile heroes like the Anti-Mage or the Darkseer. Probably going to see a lot of Blink Steals and maybe some ultra cool plays with the Rubik blinking into the bushes and lifting up the Anti-Mage as he tries to TP out. Something like that, but Puck being picked up as well by Kaipi, so Puck does really well against the Storm Spirit in the early game. Storm's one of those heroes that he wants to get up close and personal with you, and against a hero like Puck that's got huge AoE nuking damage, he's got a silence which he's probably going to max if he's leaning against that Storm Spirit, Waning Rift with a 3-second silence for 280 damage, as well as 280 damage coming out from the Illusory Orb. Storm's going to have to play a little bit more carefully. Plus, as I've mentioned earlier, Static Remnant plus the Overload is the normal way Storm will win the lane. He'll just use the Static Remnant to farm the creeps and then harass the enemy hero with Overload. But Puck, of course, has got that phase shift, so he's able to dodge all of that harass damage. So Puck is one of those heroes that the Storm Spirit has to play very, very carefully against. In addition to that, he's very, very hard to gank. So this basically means that Sing Sing probably going to have a pretty happy time against that Storm Spirit as Puck. And unless these two supports spend a lot of time ganking the mid lane, might see Shafik being shut down a little bit more than we have previously.
Yeah, as you said, the Puck silence is going to be very, very useful in order to keep that Storm Spirit down. We could even see an Orchid pickup on someone on Kaipi. There isn't really an Orchid holder as of yet, and they pick up the Phantom Lance actually on Team Aspera, which is something that kind of fell out of favour, but if you want to farm fest and you want to beat an Anti-Mage, Phantom Lance is a hero that can do that.
Wow, Phantom Lancer. I haven't seen him in a while, but this is possibly going to turn into a split push-off war. And I mean, Nature's Prophet is still in the pool. Team Aspera does need an offlaner, so we might see them pick him up, as he does seem to fit the role that Visitor tends to go with, a offlaner that can rotate into the jungle and help gank a lot. Nature's Prophet definitely is capable of doing that, so Kaipi might ban that out. Alternatively, we could... what else could we see? What else could they go for? Maybe something like a Clockwork for a little bit more initiation. Goes well with the Storm Spirit, but of course Clockwork can't go into the jungle. So... oh, well, there's a Nature's Prophet anyway, so I guess they're not going to be doing that. And Kaipi need another support. I think something like maybe a Lina could go quite well. THD for a little bit more pushing power. Even a Leshrac got some nice AoE, got a good stun that combos well with the Darkseer and the Naga Siren, and has got that Diabolic Edict to tear 3 towers. At the moment, they've got the Anti-Mage, but other than that, they don't have that much to actually take down the towers with the damage. Anti-Mage, of course, needs the Battle Fury up, but he can clear the creep waves very easily, but other than that, he's not that good at pushing towers, especially in the early game.
Enchantress.
Enchantress is what they choose to pick up. So, I mean, Enchantress generally falls into an early push lineup, but none of the other heroes really are that good for early pushing, so it'll be interesting to see what they want to do with this, and whether they can just force down towers with those creeps.
Yeah, well, like I was just saying, they need a little bit more push, and Enchantress will definitely fulfill that role. Plus, in the late game, she has some nice DPS coming out from the Impertus, as well as being able to tank a little bit against the illusions. Plus, that's one more thing, she can actually enchant, as far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, because she can enchant a Phantom Lancer illusion, giving her the ability to have her own Phantom Lancer army. So, between the Darkseer and the Enchantress, that is going to be a lot of Phantom Lancer illusions to battle the real Phantom Lancer himself, so that should be quite interesting to watch. And the last pick up Lone Druid.
Picking up the Lone Druid is just going to increase that split push to tremendous amounts on this team.
Yeah, and like I was saying, it's a hero that can push. It's not so good at ganking, but I mean, we might even see him go for a bit of a ganking, well, I guess strategy using the Spirit Bear, but he can rotate into the jungle and he can farm the offlane, so seems like the standard pick coming for I forget his name. Inquisitor, who has Inquisitor, who has now DC'd, so might see a bit of a pause.
Yeah, Aspera have been having a little bit of lag issues throughout this whole cup today, so might be a little bit of a pause, just waiting for him to reconnect, which will be happening straight away.
Well, while we're doing that, we can go through the players. On the side of Aspera, we have got Zizao Dota playing the Visage, Stomper going to be on that Rubik, Phantom Lancer being played by Go Audio, Sharfik going to be playing that Storm Spirit, and Inquisitor going to be playing that Lone Druid, probably on the offlane.
And over on Kaipi, we have Eternal Envy playing the Anti-Mage, AUI 2000 on that Enchantress, Sing Sing playing the Puck, Bone 7 on the Darkseer, and Pylai Dai on the Naga Siren.
So this should be pretty passive early game, I would say, unless they decide to run a trial in against the Anti-Mage Naga Siren combo, which they very well might do. With the Enchantress in the jungle, she is capable of ganking from behind, but they've got a quite strong trialing coming out with the Visage, the Phantom Lancer nukes, and the Rubik that would probably be able to shut the Phantom Lance, sorry, the Anti-Mage down, but they might just decide to go for a passive trial lane. So we're not going to know fully what they're deciding until they actually leave the base. Probably going to see Sharfik getting pulled a little bit. He's definitely going to want to get up a Null Talisman for his first item, as well as some regeneration, and then go for that Bottle Rush. Puck most likely is going to be pulled as well. That's pretty standard in the mid lane. Both of them have got okay base damage, 50 to 52, so last hitting should be fairly even. It's basically just going to come down to skill. And blocking, of course, because that uphill is going to be quite helpful, as it does give you a 50% miss chance if you're going from downhill. And for the Darkseer and the Lone Druid, who are either going to match up if if Aspera decide to go for tri-lane versus tri-lane. If they do, Bone 7 versus Inquisitor, I'd give the advantage to Lone Druid. Usually what happens is the Darkseer will go behind here and just cut the creep wave and just farm there, and Lone Druid can farm at a tower very easily as he's got that Spirit Better tank for him. But if Darkseer decides to come into lane, that's when he gets into trouble, because by the time Lone Druid hits level 5, he is going to be able to get entangles and stop the Darkseer from escaping with the roots. Entangles. Entangling roots.
Yeah, once Lone Druid gets to level 5, he definitely has a huge dominance on that lane. Before that, Darkseer can play quite aggressively on him if they do match up against each other, especially with the Iron Shell damage while he's out of level 6 Druid mode. So I think we're going to have a remake, as one of the players can't reconnect. So it looks like we're going to remake.
Oh, we're remaking? Alright. Alrighty. Cool beans, here goes the game. Yay!
Yeah, random little error not being able to reconnect to the game. It happens sometimes.
Yeah. It's totally not his fault.
Nope. Alright, so a lot on the line really in this game. I mean, it's not a massive cup, but you still want to win these things. And
it's a free $1,000.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, it's not really free. It's a lot of hard work goes into Dota, Lily. A lot of hard work.
Yeah. Oh well. I'm getting like hyped up from the energy drinks now, so I'm really sorry if I go a bit crazy. I've had way too many, but I needed it to stay awake.
I'm on number 4. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh well, it's worth it to be able to cast European Dota. This is pretty exciting. But yeah. So everyone's in the game. Pigs have come out. Time for Dota.
While we have a little bit of a break too, I'd just like to thank everyone for tuning in. You're awesome, and we love you.
Yeah, thank you. It's very nice to have a little bit of support. And as always, if you have any feedback, please send me a message on Twitch. I will read all of them. And thank you to everyone who sent it already. We really, really appreciate it because we do want to improve. We know we're not the best. We know we're new. But, yeah. The only way to get better is by practicing. So thank you for tolerating our mistakes. Or my mistakes.
Exactly. If you want to send me something too, feel free. You don't have to send all the flame at Lily. I'm open for flame too. I love it. I love it.
Alright, so what are they doing? No, it looks like we're going to be seeing a little bit more passive farming. Phantom Lance are going to be farming in the easy lane. Anti-Mage going to be farming in the easy lane for himself. And support's just kind of roaming around getting some wards down. Enchantress has been pulled though. She's picked up a smoke, so we might see her going into the enemy jungle. Potentially.
Yeah, are they gonna aggressively place an Enchantress? It's so risky to do, but if it works out really well. And shutting down Phantom Lance's farm is almost a complete necessity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Phantom Lancer versus Anti-Mage, it's a pretty close lineup. I mean, both of them are very, very good at split pushing, and what it usually comes down to is kind of item choices. Because, you know, if the Phantom Lancer picks up an MKB while the Anti-Mage goes for a Butterfly, you know, after Diffusal and Heart and all of those other items that they tend to get, you know, it can shut them down. But alternatively, the Anti-Mage goes for just pure split push. The Phantom Lancer might not be able to out-split push him if he goes for teamfight items. So this is going to depend a lot on Go Audio and Eternal Envy's ability to look at the other enemies' items and kind of judging how the game goes. And we are going to see another one of these aggressive tri-lanes coming out from Kaipi, so this should be pretty fun to watch.
Pylite actually getting very close to Stomper, but he does not have the ensnare. He did pick that Riptide first for the nuke damage. So not being able to lock him down there, and maybe a missed kill from that different sort of skill leveling. So
Well,
maybe a little bit of mistake coming out there.
I don't know. I think that it would have been very hard to get a kill off this early into the game because they have got the Enchantress who's gone for a slow first. It's probably going to be waiting until a time like now to go for those kills.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out from Pylodie with that Iron Shell on him and with the Riptide. They're moving in closer, but they can't dive this tower yet. It will just do too much damage, and they're just going to backdoor the creeps as a 3, and they can do this with Enchantress creeps and the Iron Shell. And now they can move on to the tower with those creeps there. They have to be careful about pulling the aggro. They do find Stomper and the trees, and they're going to be doing a lot of damage to Goldio. The sentry does go down, trying to trap him in there. They are going to block him off into the trees. He's cutting away through. Zizar Dodo is now putting his attention onto the Darks here, and they might even get the first blood here, which they actually do, but the creep gets the last hit on it. Now going on to Zizar Dodo with that centaur, not quite being able to finish him off, and the sentry does get dewarded, obviously, as it was under the tower. But
Pylodie just hiding in here. He's like, no, you don't see me. I'm invisible. I'm invisible.
Pylodie being caught out now. Everyone's on a little bit of a low health. Bone Seven is going to come in here with the Iron Shell on. And are they going to trap Stomper? Stomper is stuck in a corner, and that's going to be Stomper dead here. He just trapped himself in there. Pylodie is still hiding down here. He's like, I'm not leaving. These are my trees. Leave me alone. It's
Nobody
fine.
sees me. Oh, that's nice. Bone 7 is like, I'll help you, buddy. I'll bite you out.
Taking the aggro for the team. Meanwhile, we see Sing Sing diving very hard on Sharfik in mid. He is taking aggro from the tower, though, so he needs to get out of here. Almost scoring a kill on that Storm Spirit, which would be very, very good for them at this point. Because as we know, Sharfik's Storm Spirit is pretty insane.
Yeah, definitely. And there is a regeneration rune top, luckily, so he's going to be able to regenerate to full. Puck, meanwhile, getting his bottle. Bottle also going to go into the bottom lane, picked up by Bone 7. And I have to say, I do actually like the sentry ward planted down here, because it does mean that if Go Audio decides to run into the bushes, he's going to be seen. So that could be potential death for him.
Yeah, and Bone 7 now just cutting the creeps with the Enchantress creep again, and they can really do this, and they're putting a lot of pressure on trail lane, which is exactly what they need to do. Mid lane, we're going to see Sharfik actually diving Sing Sing, and Sing Sing's going to die!
Oh,
just being taken out by Sharfik. Excellent play coming out from that Storm Spirit, and very, very close once again. But Sing Sing just coming out on the back end.
Yeah, no, that was... Yeah, okay, sorry. People have said don't be speechless, so I won't. That was really, really well played by Sharfik there. He managed to use his bottle throughout the attacks of Sing Sing, and when Sing Sing went in for that dodge, actually on bot lane, we're going to see initiation as well.
Initiation going onto the Stomper. The Troll Net does come out. A lot of damage coming onto him from the Iron Shell. He's going to fall. AUI 2000 taking a bit of damage here. TP is coming in from Sharfik, so he is going to get into this fight. Bone 7 taking a lot of damage. He is going to fall here from the Visage auto attack. The nuke not even needing to be thrown there. And Sharfik now chasing down AUI 2000 just to get him out of here. They just want them gone, so Go Audio can farm.
Farm-wise, Go Audio is actually doing pretty good. He's outlast hitting poor Eternal Envy, who's trying to verse a Syllabare, which is so hard. Syllabare's hit level 5 now, and what is there Eternal Envy can do? If he gets one root on him, he's dead. And he hasn't picked up what is that item called? The thing, Ring of Protection, so he can't go for Tranquil Boots, which is probably what he's going to need to pick up. Against a hero like the Syllabare, if you don't go for those Tranquil Boots, it's just going to harass you out of lane. At least with the Tranquil Boots, you don't have to keep ferrying yourself pots.
Yeah, Anti-Mage generally doesn't do that well in this matchup. Sorry, not mess up. And we just see Lone Druid resummon his bear rather than sending it back for the hill, because he knows he will be at a great disadvantage in this lane without it. Eternal Envy just pulling the creeps now. He needs to watch out to not get stunned and not get clapped. He can't be taking that extra nuke damage. The Wildkin is going to come up here as well, create a little bit of chaos, but Lone Druid knows this pull's going on. He's just going to sort of stand in here, try and pick off a couple last hits where he can, but this Tornado is going to be coming in doing a lot of damage to him if he's not careful. Maybe just send the bear up there and get a root onto that Wild Wing, just so it stops.
The two supports are smoked up, ready to go in on this Lone Druid. He has not quite hit level 6. Once he does hit level 6, he'll be a lot harder to kill, but that Tornado will Yeah, it looks like the tornado will scare him off, so he's going to heal up just a little bit. And smoke coming off from the supports on the side of Aspera as well. They want to kill this puck. Oop, and Lone Druid has DC'd from the game.
Yeah, a little bit of connection issues with this game for Team Aspera. But how do you feel the lane's going so far? I mean, Darkseer is leading on the CS board now. It could be muddled up a little by jungle creeps.
No, I think it's just because it's Darkseer. I mean, Darkseer's going to get most of the last hits in the early game. Just because of that Iron Chill, it just does so much damage. Plus, they were cutting the creep wave there, so he's going to get 100% of CS. Phantom Lancer and Lone Druid both doing pretty well for themselves. The supports have been forced to rotate top on the side of Kaipi, sorry, just because they did lose the bot lane. And if you're going to run an aggressive tri lane and leave your carry to get no farm, they really needed to win that lane, and they didn't, unfortunately. So that means they're just going to have to abandon this Darkseer on bot lane and head up to top to shut down the Syllabare and ensure that Eternal Envy gets farm, which is going to be the right choice. I mean, they're going to be relying on Eternal Envy, and once Eternal Envy is kind of set up and they've scared the Syllabare back to the jungle, they can then rotate and gank down Sharfik, which is going to be hard because he has hit level 6, but you know, they can't just give up because he's hit level 6. They're going to have to make some action. And with the net, no, net doesn't go through, it's going to, I don't know, it's going to come down to Puck's silence. Puck is going to have to get a good silence off. That's the only way they're going to be able to kill him.
Yeah, I totally agree. They really need that silence to work out for them. And unfortunately, they don't really have an Orchid carrier on their team. Maybe the Darkseer could pick it up, even just for another set of silence, but it looks like they're going to rotate up to here and try and pick off the supports. AUY 2000 a little bit too close. Shallow Grave is going to come out. A lot of damage come out on him. Sharfik is going straight for Parlay Die now on that Naga Siren. Bear's coming through. The nuke does come through with the Versailles, managed to clean up another kill. And a Root comes out on Eternal Envy, and he's taking a lot of damage here. He needs to get out of here. He doesn't fall. He doesn't need to blink, but meanwhile all of this is happening. Bone 7 and Sing Sing are pushing this mid tower.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, so that is really the only thing they can do. They're not quite the level they need to be to rotate, and Midas is going to be picked up again by Bone 7, so he really is not going to be able to help for a couple of minutes. That mech is going to be quite delayed. Though with the Midas he will be able to farm it a lot faster and keep his experience levels up, even if he does get forced out of lane. But Puck kind of needs a couple more levels before he can really rotate effectively, especially since they did lose that tri lane. And losing those two supports now does mean that Anti-Mage is basically forced to rotate into the jungle and try and farm this camp, the pool camp.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, no, apparently your stream is skipping a lot of frames at the moment, Lily.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the thingy and it's all green, so I don't know why.
Okay, I've been hearing about Twitch issues today with jumping frames, especially with routing for people watching in the US, so that could be a reason.
Yeah.
So apologies to anyone who's getting a bit of lag, but there's nothing we can do as...
I can turn the quality down, herp herp herp. I'm sure you'd love that. Everyone loves my quality. Yeah, so what are we seeing now? Phantom Lancer, Darkseer and this Syllabare all leading the charge in terms of farm. Top tower going to be having a bit of damage done to it by the Syllabare. The rotation back in from Eternal Envy is going to force him back. But Storm Spirit is waiting in the jungle. He's saying, hello, Mr. Eternal Envy, I want to be your friend. But Enchantress is going to spot him out, and Eternal Envy is... Nope, he has no fear. He wants to go on Sharfik.
Eternal Envy going in here, TP coming out from Pylai Die. He is only level 4, so there's no sleep, but 2 levels in the net will give them a sufficient amount of lockdown. Unfortunately, it won't hold that Storm Spread in there, though. With the Ball Lightning, he will be able to disengage out of these fights and get away. Sing Sing now, Invis, going right next to Inquisitor, but with that level 6 Lone Druid form, he's just got so much health, they need a lot of people. Sharfik now walking straight past him as well, and is Sing Sing going to go jump back into this fight? It does look like they want to engage here. Sharfik, meanwhile, going on to Pylai Die. The Lone Druid Bear is hitting on him. No roots to come out yet. Anti-Mage ulti does go on Sharfik, doing a lot of damage, killing him off. And Enchantress actually gets the last hit. Inquisitor now is going to go down to the puck. Nice little engagement from Kaipi there.
Yeah, that was well played by them, and possibly not as much map awareness as you'd expect from Aspera coming out there. They were pushing mid lane, they were pushing bot lane, there was no contest from Kaipi, so I'm not too sure what they or why they initiated on that, but I guess they thought that it was a short kill, and Sharvik is known for playing highly aggressive with this Storm, as we've seen today. He definitely has no fear, and he's just shown it there. And sometimes it works, and sometimes, of course, it doesn't. That's bound to happen in a game of Dota. And Kaipi really, obviously, are going to put a lot of effort into protecting the anti-mage. They really want Eternal Envy to get his farm up. Especially since they are trading it for this Phantom Lancer who's been free farming. Sits about 4 minutes when the support's rotated away.
Yeah, I mean, trading anti-mage farm for PL farm is not too bad, but PL kind of hits his stride once he hits the Diffusal Blade, and anti-mage needs a bit longer after that. Phantom Lancer can really destroy a lane on his own without sort of too much more, maybe even just a vitality booster after that Diffusal, and he becomes pretty much not scared of anything after that. Bone 7 coming into this top lane though, they're going to force out Sharvik to not take this tower, and it looks like they're just going to back up. They're going, scouting out with the Lone Druid Bear just to see any more aggression. AUI 2000 kind of hanging around here, trying to get some creeps up and get a bit more power behind them.
Stomper might be in a little bit of trouble now. Take the root, buddy!
Yeah, Initiated coming out there, nice puck ulti going down. Sing Sing is going to drop though. Rubik is going to drop as well, followed by Pylai Die on that Naga Siren. Huge ulti coming out from the anti-mage, and Sharvik has no mana left. He's going to try and juke into the trees, but does get picked out. Root comes out onto AUI 2000 on that Enchantress, and now they're going to turn all their damage into Inquisitor. The Iron Shell coming out from Darkseer on that anti-mage is doing a lot of damage, but they're just going to disengage here, not trying to overextend.
Yeah, and I mean, meanwhile, of course, Phantom Lancer AFK farming, as is the strategy of Go Audio. All he wants to do really is get some farm up, and then he'll help his team out later. It's kind of his strategy there. And that's something that's very, very easy to do on a Phantom Lancer, because while he's pushing, while his team's fighting, he's pushing.
Yeah, and he definitely doesn't do it slowly either. Meanwhile, they're going to try and take this tier 1 mid down against Kaipi for Aspera, so just getting a little bit more gold in their pockets, a little bit more map presence down too.
Right, and let's just take a quick look at the gold experience, and actually no we can't, because on bottom lane we're going to see Initiation of Beaver Knight. Looks like Sing Sing is going to manage to get away, but in comes Bone 7. Sharvik just bottling up, he's going to get away from this, just A-OK. Or is he? Yep.
And Sharvik does look like he's going to get out here. Sing Sing trying to get in the orb, but now he can't make it up the hill as there is no blink data obviously up for Sing Sing yet, because he doesn't have the gold behind him to do that. So Sharvik going to get out.
Yeah, and what I was going to do before they started having a little bit of a scrimmage there was look at the golden experience. So in terms of gold, going in favour of Aspera, about 2,000, which probably going to be due to the towers. There's no towers down for the side of Kaipi, and Aspera's managed to get 2 towers, the mid and the bot tower. So that's going to be a little bit of the gold graph there. But of course they are winning in terms of farm. It's pretty even, but Phantom Lancier's got the top, followed up by Darkseer and then Silver Bear. And in terms of experience, and kills of course, in terms of experience it's essentially even. It's been going up and down a bit, but looks like not too much is going to be happening in terms of experience at the moment. They do
meanwhile Aspera take the top tower, and KP are just going to go for this mid to take the trade.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Here we go.
TP is coming in from Storm Spirit though. Blink coming out from Stomper as he has stolen it from Anti-Mage, which is fantastic to have on your Rubik.
Yeah.
Saves you a lot of gold stealing that spell.
Definitely, and that does mean they get the deny on the mid tower, which is very, very good. I mean, it's the first tower of the game to go down for Kaipi, and Aspera managed to get the deny, so it's a lot of gold being taken away from Kaipi that Aspera did manage to get.
Yeah, definitely. And all the while, Phantom Lancer still farming. He's got his first Blade of Alacrity, and he will be going for that Diffusal Blade after the drums. Gets a little bit of sort of health from the drums, which obviously he does need because he's a pretty squishy hero with Tranquil Boots.
Yeah, he definitely is, but I mean, once he gets that Diffusal Blade up, which will be coming probably by about 15 minutes, which is really nice farm for getting a drum, Tranquil Boots, Soul Ring, and then a Diffusal Blade, and he's going to be helping up the team very, very early, much earlier than Eternal Envy is going to be able to. It looks like Eternal Envy is going to be going for that Battle Fury after his treads. He's got the Ring of Health. If he wants to buy out the next item, he can, being maybe the finish up the Perseverance or just going for one of the damage items like the Claymore or the Broadsword. But Battle Fury is going to be far away. He's going to have to get a lot of farm, and meanwhile, Go Audio is going to be participating in teamfights a lot faster than him.
Yeah, he really will be able to, and as we've sort of said earlier on, the Phantom Lancer will have a bigger impact earlier on, but if it drags out to sort of a very late game situation, I think both teams are going to be kind of even. Aspera do have the Lone Druid though, which can definitely work in their favour, and it looks like Lone Druid's going to be going for that Maelstrom build.
Lone Druid Maelstrom build? Yeah, it looks like he will be, or yeah, no he is. He's got the Mythical Hammer, he's got the glove, and it kind of goes with the build that they, I mean, like I was saying, it goes with what the Phantom Lancer versus Anti-Mage gameplay is all about. So Phantom Lancer is beating Anti-Mage in terms of farm. Looking at the net worth, he's 2k gold above Eternal Envy, which is pretty good. And what this means is that he's going to be able to participate in team fights earlier, which means that Lone Druid doesn't really have to go for a kind of rush on that Radiance. Even though he could potentially go for it, it's going to be a lot better if he goes for a kind of early game item like Maelstrom straight into an AC, so that the team is going to be able to just push in and go for the Raxes at maybe 20 to 25 minutes after taking the Roshan down. And so it kind of shows the ability of the team to communicate what the farm is like and what the enemy's farm is like, how they've been going, shutting down the Anti-Mage. And I mean, by the time Eternal Envy does get up the Battle Fury, we're going to have Diffusal Blade on the Phantom Lancer, possibly even going into a Heart or a Manta, whichever he chooses to go for. And there's definitely going to be up at least a Maelstrom on the Syllabear, as well as possibly a Hyperstone or the Plate Mail, or, you know, if he does decide to go for an AC, which he might not, but I think it'd probably be best if he did. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think the PL is definitely going to need to go a Heart before the Manta, just because if he gets caught in the vacuum and the Storm is on low mana and the Storm gets ultied by Anti-Mage, that could be a full team wipe just from that massive damage, because he has such a large mana pool. And that's one of the great things with Anti-Mage against Storm. Storm, though, I mean, he has to get focused down a bit, but with the mobility he has, it's very hard to lock him down. And the reaction time from the vacuum into that Anti-Mage ulti, without the Storm being able to ball lightning away, it's going to be very, very much on perfect timing coming out from Kaipi. So it'll all depend on that. But Phantom Lancer most likely won't even be at the fight. He'll just be taking your axe while you're trying to kill Aspera.
Going a little bit robotic again. I think it's supposed to be the internet going a bit crazy. These guys are very chatty, I kind of like it. And what are we seeing?
Caster chatties.
Yeah. Gonna see smoke up on the two supports. They probably want to find someone out, but where is everyone on the side of Kaipi? They're all top lane ganking down the Syllabear, so might be seeing instant TPs coming out, but Storm Spirit doesn't have a TP, neither does Visage, and neither does Rubik, so Syllabear, he's dead. 3v1, nobody's got a TP scroll, and that's a little bit sloppy actually coming out from Aspera. You really expect everyone to have a TP scroll coming up to 14 minutes. Especially the supports. I mean, Syllabear's a quite tank hero. He's got, what, 1.4k health? And the damage coming out from Kaipi aren't going to be able to kill him that quickly. The supports could probably rotate in and give him a hand, but I guess they all use their TP scrolls and they haven't bothered to buy new ones, maybe.
Yeah, that's basically rule 2 of Dota. Always have a TP. Rule 1 is obviously nothing is ever your fault, and it's always someone else's, because that's just something you've got to live by. But yeah, it is a little bit sloppy, as you said, them not having the TP scrolls, and it is actually very surprising.
Yeah, I just noticed that, but yeah, Syllabear's gonna die now. He's got no way to survive this. Which is kind of sad, because he was doing so well on farming. But maybe they're going to go rotate into a push from that. Not that there's anywhere really to push. Whew. And what else can we talk about? Looked at the golds, looked at the experience, talked about items. Who do you think's going to win this game? Straight up, who do you think's going to win? Call it now.
Just no circumstances in there. Who do you think's going to win?
Yep, do it.
Just from lineups alone, I've got to say Aspera.
You got to say Aspera? Alright.
Yeah. I personally prefer their lineup. They can roll 3 heroes, Storm, Rubik, Visage in one lane, and delay a fight with the Storm Chaos, and take 2 lanes at once. Lone Druid can take down towers very easily on his own, and so can PL. They have the split push capabilities, and they can just be everywhere more at once. Whereas Kaipi, they almost have to stay more together. Anti-Mage can split push, but he can't until he's got the Battle Fury and even the Manta up. He can't really split push that effectively, because he won't be that hard for them to kill. He won't be... yeah, that was right. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, what you said is correct, that they've got a really nice lineup, able to kind of juke around and do a lot of distraction, while the 2 heroes of the Sealed Bearer and the Phantom Lancer do a lot of pushing. And at the moment Kaipi are a little bit starved for gold on their cores, but Anti-Mage is just so annoying to verse. I mean, once he gets his Battle Fury up, he is going to be able to sustain that anti-push. That is what their team needs. And plus, I think the Puck, the Nagasaran, and the Darkseer are going to be able to, well, I guess, control the fight. Those 3 heroes, in their own rights, all of them have got huge team fight capabilities in controlling the game. Sing Sing, having you to have Kappa out. So I mean, the Nagasaran can delay the fight by doing the song, the Puck can keep them all in place with the Dream Coil, and if anyone tries to TP out, they're going to get vacuumed. So, in that respect, Kaipi might just be able to go for kind of a 4v5 or 4v3 even, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but I mean, both teams have got very strong lineups in their own right. It just kind of depends on how they want to play it out.
Just gonna reset my audio. Apparently I'm lagging in game, so hopefully that fixes it. But yeah, it's... I don't know. Well, you didn't even give a straight answer. You made me give a straight answer on who I think's gonna win.
Well, that's what you get for casting with me.
It's not fair, Lily. It's just not. We're supposed to live on a mutual understanding of 50-50. I'm getting slacked out on the back.
Well, you're more than welcome to leave my channel at any point. I don't need you.
You're a strong, independent woman who don't need no man to cast with her.
That's right. I got this. I'll just talk nonsense until everyone leaves.
Exactly. So we're gonna see Inquisitor get a lot of damage done to him now. He can't even go anywhere. He's gonna try and TP, but he does get taken down. A nice root coming out onto Sing Sing, but not gonna save his life there, and he is gonna fall.
Yeah, and those supports, they were smoked up, but now they know that nobody's there to gank. Anti-Mage in mid lane saying, no, you can't catch me, I'm going to be running around. Phantom Lancer just farming bot, very, very close to his Diffuser Blade, and we might see a pick-off coming out on EE Summer. No, not EE Summer. This guy right here, Sing Sing.
Left going off Stomper. Nuke coming out, nice dodge coming out from Sing Sing as well. Doesn't take the damage. Meanwhile, we hear Storm coming in from the back. Sharthik trying to get something done on the back lines, but he is just going to start farming with that haste rune. So nice little dodge there from Sing Sing to dodge that nuke, and he might have fallen from that. I'm pretty sure he was on a little bit too much health though.
Yeah.
Denied.
What are we seeing now? Mech picked up on that Darkseer. That's going to be very, very helpful for team fights that are up and coming. Tread's picked up on the Enchantress. She's got a smoke too, so we might see her smoke up and probably do some warding or de-warding. The wards at the moment are very, very aggressive coming out from Aspera. They've got one blocking this camp here, another one blocking this camp here, both of them giving nice vision into the jungle. So they want to kind of shut that Enchantress down. And in mid lane, they're just going to be pressuring this down with the Bear.
Yeah, Bear being able to go that far forwards it's just able to sort of slow push, and that's one of the things that they can do for sieging as well, trying to go for tier 3s and racks, is they can just slow siege with that Bear.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely can. That Bear is just fantastic with the slow sieges and pushing. No fear at all. And he really wants to get a root. If he can get a root on Eternal Envy, he's going to be dead, but no, he's not. He's not lucky. He's not Admiral Bulldog.
he doesn't get those crazy entangles. But we see Kaipi now grouping up bottom. They're sick of this PL free farming. It's just so dangerous to let him do this, and he's got his Diffusal Blade now as well, so it's going to get even worse.
And what are they doing now? They're just farming. Phantom Lancer has picked up his Diffusal Blade. That doesn't mean he'll be joining the team fights a little bit more. And we're going to see a fight now.
Yeah, ulti coming off from Sing Sing. Nice hold there. Sharfik coming in, getting the hold on AUI, but the heal is up, so he's getting all his life back. Zizao is going to drop into the team fight, and the sleep is just going to stop everything in its tracks. Pylai Die getting that off. Wall is going to go down. By Boat 7, no Vacuum to come out yet. Vacuum just bringing them up the hill a little. Ulti coming out from the anti-mage, doing a decent chunk of damage. Infisidor is going to drop now as well. Aggressively blinking after Sharfik. He wants to get this kill. PL slow from that lance is going to come out. He's still going to blink after, gets rid of all that mana, and there's nowhere Sharfik can go now. The Visage is going to try and slow him down, but it's going to take is one more blink. He can't actually tread switch in order to get the mana, so he is going to be able to have to back out here. Is he going to get the damage he needs on Sharfik? He is going to get that last hit. And Bone 7 had that secured anyway with that vacuum. So, nice play there with that solid chasing from the anti-mage.
Yeah, that was a really nice attempt at juking coming out by Sharfik, and he did quite a good job of delaying. But unfortunately there was no TP in from the Phantom Lancer. There was no help, apart from by the Visage trying to do a bit of a slow, so a bit unfortunate there. If he had lived, it would have been very Imber juking, but oh well, what are you going to do? Just die.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Anti-Mage getting closer and closer to that Battle Fury now. He's got some kills, 3-0. He's got a little bit of farm as well, which is what he kind of wanted. So that Battle Fury is going to be up in maybe a minute or two.
Yeah, once this Battle Fury's up, it's going to go very much better for Eternal Envy. He really needs it to get the flash farm up. I mean, PL's just going to overtake him by so much. If we take a look at the net worths, PL is sitting on 8k, while the Anti-Mage is just at 6.2 now. So, a 2k difference in gold is quite large between these two, and it's only going to get bigger between them until Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury up, or until they start winning some big team fights.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Radiant's bottom tower.
I mean, definitely going to be the worry that Eternal Envy has this whole game. The 6-item slot versus 6-item slot, Anti-Mage versus Phantom Lancer, it's a very even matchup. Both of them have got great split pushing capabilities, but Eternal Envy is just going to be getting as much farm as he can, and then rotating around, farming, flash farming basically. Probably going to see some camps being stacked by the supports for him. And meanwhile, Puck getting free farm in the mid lane, going to have that blink dagger up very, very soon. He's almost got it. Enchantress going for a BKB, it looks like. Just very, very poor Naga Siren we're seeing here. And my chat died. Hang on. Just give me 1 second, fixing that up.
Yeah, Naga Siren generally struggles with a bit of gold unless she's running sort of a fourth and gets a bit of dedicated farm in that jungle. But other than that, she struggles a little. Meanwhile, we're going to see a lot of aggression coming onto the bot lane. TP is going to come in from Sharfik, and he is invisible, so they don't know if that was cancelled, but by the time it took, they can sort of guess. But they don't seem like they feel like any aggression's going to come out of here. But they are going to back up now, seeing that lone druid bear coming through. Stomper is not going to manage to catch anyone sort of lagging behind. Sharfik is going to dive pretty deep in there, trying to just pick off someone. AUI 2000 now getting picked up. Net's going to come out onto Sharfik, and he's almost out of mana. He is out of mana now. Ulti comes out from the Anti-Mage. Nuke onto Anti-Mage though. He is almost about to fall. He does fall from the Rubik. Nuke coming through, and wall is dropped. A lot of damage coming onto Sing Sing. The heal is off though. Sharfik is going to drop to that orb coming through as well. Dust coming up onto AUI. And PL now in a lot of trouble. AUI does not have the mana though to use Impetuous to get the damage out. The nuke is going to come out from Sing Sing though, taking him down. He needs to get out of here though, as the bear is going to lock him down, get a root and take him down. Bone 7 now is against the slow druid. He does manage to pick him up. So, are they going to be able to pick Bone 7 up? He is stunned by the tower, but he's just not going to take enough damage. So, a 4-for-3 trade going the way of Kaipi.
Yeah, that was very nicely done by them. It was a 4-for-3 trade, like you just said. So the only one standing on Aspera was going to be a support, and the offlaner. On the side of Kaipi, picking off the anti-mage was very, well, much needed, I suppose. He hadn't died yet, but he is just going to go top and start flash farming again. And the Phantom Lancer, I kind of wish he'd just used the Diffusal Blade on the Darkseer to keep the Darkseer off him, but I guess he just felt like he didn't have enough time to do it. And on bot lane, Stomper tries to get the deny on the tower, but he just doesn't have enough damage to do it.
Yeah, and one of the things is you kind of want to save your Diffusal a little while just to get the dust off, because they did pop the dust there. If you can purge that dust off and then go invisible, you're going to be able to get out of the fight. But obviously that's not how it went for him.
Well, he didn't have, he's only got level, no, actually, in mid-level.
Meanwhile, we're going to see Sing Sing go onto Shafik. He gets the silence off, the Mana Void does come off, doing a little bit of damage to the Storm Spirit. He's going to get picked off. Stomper is going to be netted by Pylai Dyer and also get killed, so a 2 for nothing, and killing that Storm at this time is really good for them. Meanwhile, Eternal Envy very aggressively farming, and Zizar is going to see him, but Anti-Mage just blinks away.
Most definitely. And what else are we seeing? A bit of slow going on Anti-Mage, but it's very, very hard to kill. And on offlane, Bone 7 doing a little bit of farming. That's about it though. Just a lot of farming coming out at the moment. They're waiting for the Storm to get back up before they can really go for some hardcore fighting.
Yeah, they are going to try and get this deny off as well on this top tower. The Wildcat might be able to last it. They do get the deny off. The Lone Druid does grab it, so nice little play there. And Anti-Mage actually picking up a Vlad so he can farm that bit more faster. And I know you personally like that build too.
That's a build I normally go for, I'll be honest. Just because it means that you can farm a lot more aggressively and then just kind of run into the neutrals to regenerate your health. But it does mean that he's kind of saying to himself, hey, I'm going to be soloing a lot. I mean, in team fights, Vlad's, don't get me wrong, it's very, very strong, but it does kind of imply that he's expecting to need to be soloing a lot and doing a lot of aggressive solo pushing. Actually, mid lane, going to see initiation on Sharpik.
Mid lane, we're going to see initiate on the Sharpik. The Silence not being able to hold him down for long, just falling everywhere at the moment. Blink does come up from Anti-Mage, but it does dislodge the stun. Meanwhile, Pylai Dyer is going to get that sleep off, but the Familiars are still hitting him. They are going to stomp down now as they're at low health. So they are going to break that up, but Eternal Envy is diving the base and he's going to kill off that Storm Spirit and just TP out of there.
That was hilarious amount of ruffle He was like, he was like, oh my god, I need to escape, and then just went everywhere. That was amazing.
That was the freak out, that was. He was having the freak out.
It's How to Panic 101. But yeah, he's just not having the great Storm game he has had the last couple of times, and I think it's just because he's playing very aggressive, and Kaipi are kind of expecting the hugely aggressive play coming out by him and picking him off, and then Hex coming out from the Darkseer, 24 minutes and he's got a Hex. That's just huge.
Yeah, he's really far ahead at the moment, and that's fantastic. And Bone 7 is just playing like an absolute beast this game, and he has been for this whole series, really. I mean, he got a little bit caught out in one of the games at some points, but other than that, he's been playing really well.
And now we're going to see Eternal Envy jumping into the Rosh Pit and going to solo the Roshan. Which
he is going to jump out.
Yeah, he can't quite do it. You usually need a Yasha pickup before you can solo the Roshan. Probably going to need a bit of help from his allies or a DD rune. One of the two. Either will help.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And we do see Bone 7 trying to scout out this Phantom Lancer in the jungle. He's going to be heading bot lane, but Bone 7 is just going to back out. Or is he?
Bone 7, he's going for it. Anti-Mage has got that upgraded Diffusal though, so those illusions do a lot. Sharpik going to dive onto Bone 7 using almost all his mana to get in there. No lucky root coming out from that Lone Druid just yet. The slow is coming out from Visage, but he's just going to surge away. Still no root coming out. And unlucky Lone Druid. If he got one root there, that was a dead Darkseer.
Yeah. Noobest guy right there.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Lone Druid he didn't get that route, but lucky for Bone 7.
Yeah.
And this Midas build is...
It's working, isn't it? You
fantastically on this Darkseer. And, I mean, if you think about it, Darkseer needs gold, and he needs the levels a lot because of that wall you sort of pick up at level 10 and 11. So a lot of the time you don't see Darkseer do that well, because he doesn't have the levels.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's a very interesting pickup, but it is working. And there's the DD rune, like I said. Now he is going to be able to slow that Roshan, taking it down very, very quickly. Supports are kind of hanging out there, ready to help him out. And the medallion picked up on the Medusa is going to help even more.
The Medusa.
The Medusa.
We know
Naga.
what you're talking about.
No, they're all sea creatures. It's all the same in the dark.
Yeah, nice DD pickup, and that medallion just making it that much easier. And now Anti-Mage is definitely catching up. Just going to have a little bit of a look at the net worth, and PL's still ahead of this Anti-Mage, but not by much anymore. Yeah. And Darkseer at the top.
Yeah, well, he's got the Midas. That usually means he's going to be at the top. But yeah, Phantom Lancer now really needs to start doing a lot more aggressive split pushing, but of course Anti-Mage has got that Aegis up, and he's going to be able to do a lot of denying of the pushing. He's going to rip through those illusions before he gets up the Battle Fury. Not the Battle Fury, the Heart.
Yeah, and I mean, I still prefer Aspera's lineup to take the slate, but Anti-Mage obviously against that Storm, if he can get those vacuum and ultis off, as I said earlier, it's just going to absolutely tear apart these team fights.
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, the Storm, Shafik playing the Storm is just not having the Storm games we've been seeing him have recently. And now we see the Blink Dagger coming up from Bone 7, so he's getting ready to get these perfect initiations and perfect hexes off.
Yep. And I mean, these guys smoked up in the jungle here. Smoke's just worn off, but okay, initiation's going off. Nope, it's not. Storm's just kind of running around. He's having a bit of fun. He'd better watch out. He doesn't have a BKB up. He's going for the Bloodstone. Even though there was a really fast Hex coming up, he's going to go for the Bloodstone anyway. Which, I think... I don't know, I think he's going to have a bit of difficulty with the Anti-Mage and the Puck and Hex on the Darkseer. He's not going to have that much of a chance to do any damage.
Yeah, net coming out onto the bear, quick resummon just to bring it back a little. And I totally agree with you. I think the Storm Spirit should have gone a BKB over that Bloodstone.
Yep,
Meanwhile, we're going to see a nice vacuum interval, big silence coming out, Rubik to die straight away, the root actually coming off onto Eternal Envy, and this Anti-Mage dropping very, very quickly. He does manage to get out of the fight. He is holding on to the Aegis though. He gets the last hit on to the Spirit Bear as well, and that's 4k sitting on up. He does get dropped though by the Phantom Lance coming out, but he is going to respawn on this Aegis, and his team needs to stay by him. No root coming out from that bear though. It actually did not attack him there. So not being able to lock him down, and they're going to take the tier 2, and are they going to keep pushing, or are they going to take these other towers and maybe defend the mid lane?
Looks like they're going to go back and just farm a bit more, do some more defense. Arganims is up on AUI as long as she decides to grab it. And that's going to make her do even more damage, pure damage coming out to a lot of, well, I mean, all of the heroes of course, but especially effective against the Phantom Lancer now that he's picked up the Heart, or he will be picking it up very, very soon.
Yeah, and this Anti-Mage has now picked up a full Mounter style, so he's definitely looking like a threat. He's now ahead of that Phantom Lancer in net worth, followed by the Darkseer once again still on top because of that Midas, and he's getting a lot of farm as well. And now, as you said earlier, that Enchantress has picked up the Arcanum, so a lot of damage will be coming out from her as well in these fights.
Yes, I mean, Enchantress with an Arcanum is absolutely terrifying. She's got increased range, so they're going to have to get even closer. And I mean, you've seen the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit's been trying to pick her off. Every single team fight, he just launches on her. He says, "Come here, I want to kill you." And every time, she pops that heal and she's okay. So, I mean, it's getting further and further. Well, it's getting harder and harder for Storm to kill anyone. And now she's got the Arganims. She's going to have to be even more careful. And not to mention, I mean, Storm is 1-7. Every other game we've seen him, he's been like, I don't know, 12-1. So, I don't know, things are not going very well for him at the moment.
Yeah, and we really need to see more coming out from this Phantom Lancer to get the Aspera back into this game. I mean, if you take a look at the experience crafts, Kaipi is over 15,000 ahead in experience and now hitting 10,000 in gold.
Yeah, it's kind of snowballing out of control. But Aspera do have a Phantom Lancer. And Phantom Lancer is a pretty annoying hero, and on bot lane we're actually going to see initiation going off on Bone 7.
Yeah, Bone 7 being caught out by Sharfik. He is going to use the mech, followed by the wall, doing a lot of damage to Sharfik here. And AUI 2000 is going to use that dust. He can see Go Audio here, and Go Audio does a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Eternal Envy getting that huge mana void up on Sharfik on that Storm Spirit, and also being able to clean up that Phantom Lancer.
Do you think if I told Go Audio in main chat that he can use that diffusal to get rid of dust, he would do it? Because that's the third time now that he's been dusted and he's just tried to walk away.
Probably, but let's not do that.
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand. Under the pressure, it's very, very hard to keep in mind that you can do that, but he would not have died just then if he just used the diffusal blade on himself. And that's one of the strongest reasons why, I mean, well, not the strongest, but a really strong reason why the pickup of diffusal is fantastic on the Phantom Lancer is because his invisibility is often countered by the dust, and if you can get rid of the dust and remove it from yourself, well, that's just huge. It means you're going to be able to escape from a lot of ganks unless they're forced to buy sentry wards or a gem. And, you know, it does make a big difference for the supports who are forced to buy out those big items.
It definitely does, and I mean, at the moment on the side of KP, they do have the gold advantage to pick up the gem, and the gem is sitting on the Naga Siren as well, so even with the purge there, it wasn't going to save his life eventually with that gem coming through. And he picks up the heart now, so he will be a lot tankier and he will be able to survive a lot better and maybe get more illusions out and do more damage in these fights.
Hopefully. I mean, that's really what he needs to be doing. And he's going to spot out AUI.
Sharfik actually diving very deep onto AUI 2000 here. They don't know the whole team is around the corner. Huge mana void coming out again from Eternal Envy, and now a lot of damage coming out onto him from the Phantom Lancer illusion. Since he's got no mana left, he can't get out of here with the blink, but the rest of his team is in there. Go Audio falling very low, the sleep coming out from Pylai Die, but Eternal Envy still taking a bit of damage from these birds. AUI 2000 is going to be able to pick up one of those, same as Stomper. Sharfik now going on to Bone 7. He is getting very low and he is going to drop here. AUI 2000 now sitting there trying to kill off the Rubik on the back end, which he does manage to do. He is going to fall here though to the Druid and the Storm Spirit. Now Puck is in a very bad position. He is going to be able to blink out, use that orb to go around, and maybe even TP or just keep running. The Lone Druid could catch up to him here.
He's got blink up
the
for 3
Lone Druid
seconds.
can't attack yet. And he does get the blink off just in time. Nicely played by Sing Sing, and he is going to get out of that fight.
Yeah, so that was a pretty intense fight. I mean, you can see now that Kaipi are playing a 5-man dodo, and even though AUI was caught out of, I wouldn't say out of position, but he was caught alone here, Aspera saw that as an opportunity to maybe get a really nice pick off from an Enchantress who's going to do some warding, but unfortunately it was actually a 5-man, bit of a gank coming around behind the tower to pick off anyone who decided to defend, and it did force the Storm to buy out there, I think. Yeah, the Storm did buy out, so that's a lot of gold gone down from him. He was trying to rush the Aegis. Sorry, not the Aegis. He was trying to rush the Aegis. He was trying to rush the Bloodstone. And he's not even going to get any core items up. He's so poor. And now he's using his gold to buy out as well, which is just making him even more poor.
Yeah, he is really struggling in this game, and one of the reasons is that Mana Void just completely and utterly wrecks him in these fights, and without the Bloodstone, his mana is just so low in every fight because he has to use so much to engage into them. And we see a smoke up as well coming up from Aspera, but they aren't going to find anyone up here. Anti-Mage is split pushing bot while killing the enemy jungle, sitting on 2.6k now with his Manta. He is going for the butterfly. He will have it in 600 gold now.
Oh, and here they go. Pushing down top lane, trying to get a pressure on. Storm Spirit just farming the bot lane, trying to defend against that Anti-Mage, and the Darkseer doing a bit of pushing. And I'm pretty sure they want to go in on the Storm Spirit, yeah, but there they go. Hex is going off, and Sharfik is just going to drop incredibly quickly. Anti-Mage blinks in, Manta, so much damage being done, and he is just dead. And now there's a butterfly picked up on the Anti-Mage as well, so it's basically forcing Go Audio to pick up MKB if he wants to go head-to-head with his Anti-Mage.
Yeah, he will really need to grab one as soon as he can, but he's only got 1800 gold. He hasn't seen the butterfly yet, as both the pieces were on the courier, and the whole butterfly actually just came down to the courier and they haven't seen him yet. So if he buys something before seeing that anti-mage with the butterfly, it could be very bad for them. Because they will need that Monkey King bar on the PL to even try and kill him. And maybe even one on the Lone Druid Bear. And yeah, I mean, they must have obviously known that they could beat the Storm Spirit with the anti-mage in this draft.
Well, I don't think it was just that. It was just that I think they were a bit more prepared. I mean, the first game, they probably weren't aware that he knows how to play Storm. And they picked up on that he played a very, very aggressive Storm. And I think letting the puck through was... it was very, very hard for them to ban... I mean, to ban the puck out because it was leaving a lot of heroes in the pool. But if you're going to pick up a Storm, puck is very, very hard to versus a Storm. Unless you're going to be rushing a Hex or a Orchid, the puck just destroys him. 3-second silence is going to kill a Storm. Storm is very, very squished. And it's 3-second silence and a whole bunch of nuke damage as well. And a stun. So, yeah, I don't know. It's very, very hard for them at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And anti-mage picking up another DD just before to take Roshan again. So, lucky runes coming out. Very well-timed runes. And they picked that up within, so it took them basically 20 seconds to bring that down with just the medallion and the anti-mage hitting it. The net going to go on to this PL though, giving them true sight. There is the gem on the Naga Siren and a quick, easy, painless kill for Kaipi coming out onto that PL, and that's exactly what they need to even bring their lead even further away.
Yep, and man, the game is just snowballing out of control for Kaipi at the moment.
And a pick up on the courier. Nice blink forward there from Eternal Envy picking off that courier.
I was kind of getting to the point where how are you meant to kill this anti-mage? He's got huge EHP, even though you guys don't like me using EHP, I'm going to use it anyway, blah. With the butterfly, with the evasion, with the manta giving him more dodging, well, evasion, blah. With the Ages of the Immortal, keeping him alive, and of course he's got, what, 27 armor? That's 50% magical resistance and 62% physical damage resistance. So how are they going to take him down? It's going to be very, very
Exactly,
hard.
it doesn't really take any damage. The buyback coming out from PL now. Eternal Envy is very deep in here, but he's got the Aegis. He can play this aggressively. Meanwhile, the team come in. Huge vacuum coming out from Bone 7. Eternal Envy just killing that Lone Druid Bear off, and he's still taking damage, but it doesn't feel like he's dying that quickly. The Aegis is now popped, so that's gone. And a wall coming out from Rubik as well, and are they going to manage to get an illusion of the anti-mage? No, the sleep does come out from Pili Die, and they're just going to run out. So, I mean, they lost the Aegis, but they forced that PL to buy back.
Well, that's the amazing thing about Naga Siren and teamfights is if things aren't going your way, if your carry has a possibility to die, just cast that song and run away. And I mean, Roshan... Did they just kill Roshan? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Roshan was not long ago. So, yeah. I mean, they could wait for another Roshan, but actually Anti-Mage picking up the BKB, which is something you generally don't see that much. Normally he goes for the butterfly and the heart instead of grabbing the BKB, but grabbing that, what damage are they going to do to him? There's no Monkey King bars, and all of Storm's damage is going to do nothing now. I mean, even with the BKB, Storm basically did nothing because he has 56% magical resistance now.
Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, yeah. If you look at the net worth, Anti-Mage and Darkseer both leading the charge. I mean, previously there was 2k lead between Phantom Lancer and the Anti-Mage, and now 1k basically going in the favour of Anti-Mage. So game has really just turned around, and it's just showing how easily these heroes can snowball, but Anti-Mage has got the mobility that Phantom Lancer doesn't have. So, I mean, Anti-Mage can just blink around, farm every single neutral camp, farm every single lane, and he'll be alright. Whereas Phantom Lancer kind of just needs to stay in one lane and pressure it very, very hard.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't think they have anything that can stop this Anti-Mage down now. The only thing that can lock him down through that BKB is the Lone Druid route on the Spirit Bear, the Entangling Claws. But he's not really getting the RNG that he would like anyway this game.
Yeah, he's really not. I mean, I haven't seen him get very many roots, but that's alright. Anyway, we're going to see Lone Druid maybe going for an MKB. They really want something to be able to take down the Anti-Mage. I think you might have just mentioned that. But that's going to be, well, pretty much necessary. And going to be transferring into treads for the Phantom Lance. He has no needs of those Tranquil Boots anymore. He's got enough regeneration coming out from the heart.
Yeah, you really don't need those this far into the game. They're great for the laning phase if you're taking a bit too much damage in lane, but after sort of even the 15-minute mark, they just lose their worth, really. You get so slow once you get hit as well.
Yeah, definitely. Man, and poor Storm. Oh, we're going to see 5-man smoke up. So where are they going? Looks like they want to head top lane, possibly get a pick off an anti-mage, but it is going to be quite hard.
I honestly don't think they can kill him. Even with all the heroes there, he can just click BKB and walk away. Unless they get a good entangling clause. But other than that, they have no way of killing him anymore. And we see Darkseer now picking up a Shiva's Guard. He did pick that up a little while ago. And this Darkseer is 6-slotted, except he can get rid of his Midas, but that's it. And then he's just got free gold.
Yeah, he's going to be able to buy out very, very easily. And he doesn't even need to get rid of the Midas necessarily. You can just keep using that to farm. There's not too many items that... I mean, he can pick up basically anything. He can go for something like a Radiance for a bit more AoE damage. He can go for something like the... What are you doing, Storm? Just farming. You can go for something like the... Even something like a Refresher would be pretty nice, to be perfectly honest. Or you could go for an Arganims against that Phantom Lancer, which would be quite good. Either of those two items would be fantastic. And honestly, it might be worth selling the mech if it gets to that late. Go for something like the Refresher Arganims, and that would for sure win them a team fight.
Yeah, one of the only problems with giving the Arganims is Rubik gets the Arganims version. So maybe the Refresher might be better because...
He doesn't get it unless he buys an Arganims.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Okay. My bad.
Don't lie to me! Well, just before you go telling lies, he needs to buy an Arganims. That's why Rubik sometimes picks up Arganims if he's got 5 heroes on the enemy team who have great ults with Arganims. Otherwise that'd be way too OP for Rubik. Just getting like free double golems against Warlock or Ember Walls.
Yeah, and we see Anti-Mage picking up his Abyssal Blade now. So he's pretty much done with the farm. He's finished farming. The fun ends here.
Oh, here I am. Over here now. Let the fun begin.
Alrighty. Just apologising to the chat. And what are they doing? Abyssal Blade picked up by the Anti-Mage. And they're just going to be sieging mid, it looks like. They've got the song on the Naga Siren. Wall is up. Puck's got all of his stuff. And he's even going for a Heaven Hell, it looks like. He's got a... Yeah, he's going for a Heaven Hellbird on Puck. Very, very interesting.
I mean, if they can lock down the damage that the Lone Druid and the PL can do, and you've got a BKB Anti-Mage, they can't do any damage to that Anti-Mage, and he can just stand there and kill everyone.
Yeah.
Actually looks like he's lagging by what he's doing in the jungle. He's like not hitting things, but
probably
maybe
just
he's
trolling
just playing
a bit.
around.
Yeah.
Just playing around. I mean, all he really needs to do now is get rid of the treads and pick up some travs, and that's all he can do. But it does look like they want to wait for the Aegis, and that's an assault picked up on the Enchantress.
Support Enchantress gets assault. Ugh. So that's great. They really should just push in. I mean, at this point they could win the team fight very easily, and the longer they wait, the fatter Phantom Lance is going to get. He's got his Mantua if he chooses to buy it, though I think it's going to be better if he saves a buyout. And looking at the buyout statuses, I know what the button is. They have got a couple of buyouts on the Phantom Lancer, but here they go.
Anti-Mage engaging in, instantly Abyssal Blading that Rubik to kill him off. He does buy back though, Vacuum into the wall comes out from Bone 7. Does the Rubik get the steal off? He does get the wall off, so double wall now down. Lone Druid is going to fall on the back end. Meanwhile, the Visage is taking a lot of damage from the Anti-Mage, and he is going to manage to kill him. AUI is being caught out by that Storm, but Storm has to back, and a lot of damage coming out. The PL is having to fall back through those walls, and Anti-Mage just got him. Hex does come out from Bone 7, and that's a dead PL. He is going to buy back now, and Bone 7 on very low health. He needs to get out of here. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage is still pretty much full, and Shafik uses all his mana to get into this fight, and Sleep comes out from Pylai Dying. Are they just going to re-engage? Bone 7 is coming back into this fight, so they're going to keep going. Shafik is going to fall here. And buyback, Go Audio is taking a lot of damage here. He has gone invis, but he is sitting in the net, so they can still see him. And he's going to die there. The Storm Spirit is going to get out, but that is the GG called from Aspera.
Well, GG, well played, both teams. I enjoyed these games very much. Oof.
Fantastic play from Kaipi that game, and congrats to them for moving forward, and definitely well played by Aspera.
Yeah, well, I mean, congratulations to Kaipi for moving forward, like you just said, and thank you, of course, to the sponsors of this tournament, SteelSeries and Dota Talk, for kindly allowing us to cast. And I think there's 3 more games coming up today, so we'll be seeing you in the next best of 3.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our casting, don't forget to follow us both on Twitter. I am at Daredevil Dota, and where can they find you, Lily?
Porcelain_Lily, I think.
Alright.
Most likely. Anyway, I'm going to put some music on and rest my voice.